Hello everybody, the Diablo 3 PTR just went up with the patch that we're going to be getting at the start of Season 4. We're currently in Season 3, but when that's done, which is actually pretty soon, then we will be getting Season 4, so they're beginning testing on a lot of the stuff that they're adding, and they are adding a lot of stuff this time around. You know, the last patch focused a lot on some quality of life changes, but mostly adding new items and new set pieces and stuff like that, also reworking some skills. This one is focused on, like, content. It's adding, you know, the whole host of new, you know, content for us to do, such as this new area in the background, which those of you who have played Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, the expansion pack, know exactly what this area is. It's kind of one of the zones that you visited in the expansion, but there's a couple of the enemies here which are from it, which is really rad. But the most important thing, I think, coming in this patch is the cube, the Kanai's cube, or however you pronounce it. It's basically the Herodric cube from Diablo 2, which is really rad, and the new Torment levels. And that's what we're going to be discussing in this video, is the new Torment levels and kind of how they work and why they're being added, which is really nice. Currently, I'm running on Torment 10. I need to preface this with the fact that I'm running the new Crusader set, which is kind of a hammered-in set. I really like it. However, it's not optimized. I don't have all the right pieces for it, so I'm just kind of like running around trying Torment 10 with this set. So it's not going to be the best, you know, thing ever. I'm not running around doing a ton of damage like I should be. In fact, in future PTR videos for this patch, you'll see me running around with a lot more optimized gear and everything else going on, and I do a lot more damage. However, that being said, let's talk about Torment 10. So if Torment 6 was the highest possible difficulty for normal stuff, you know, let's forget about Greater Rifts for the moment, because, you know, Greater Rifts get more and more powerful as you go through them, right? Like, Greater Rift 10 is going to be a whole lot less powerful than Greater Rift 50. Well, if Torment 6 was the highest difficulty before, you can equate that with Greater Rift 25. So most people were doing at least Greater Rift 40. Greater Rift 35, I would say, was the breaking point for most casual players. You'd get to about 35, and then that was it, right? And then everybody who have been farming in Season 3 and who've been actually pushing the ladder, they're upwards in the 50s or the 60s. If you're going with groups, you're looking at 70s and 80s of Greater Rifts. Well, if Torment 6 was Greater Rift 25, Torment 10 is actually Greater Rift 45. And there's a nice little thing, because they changed the way rifts work and Greater Rifts and everything. There's no more trial rifts, but we'll talk about that in another video. But on the list of things there, they actually show you now that, yeah, Greater Rift 25 is T6, Greater Rift 45 is T10, and T10 is no joke. Like, my current character, I stopped playing after I hit Greater Rift 49 and cleared it, but that's currently where I'm at on the ladder. So I'm still on the ladder, because like I said, most players, they'll get to probably 35 to 45, and that's their end point. I managed to get to 49, so I'm in my gear that I was running for that, I'm able to do, you know, T10. I'm able to do Greater Rift 45 if I wanted to. But the thing is, like, T10 is just, it's actually kind of difficult. And the amount of damage and health that everything does is a little high. I wasn't expecting it the first time I went in, despite the fact that I've done Greater Rift 45. It's a little jarring at first when you get into a T10 game and you weren't expecting it. But why are they adding T10? Why are they adding T7, 8, and 9 as well? Well, the thing is, once again, that player base that does continue to farm, that does do everything, hell, even the people who go, you know, up to Greater Rift 35, at that point, you know, they're doing much higher than T6, you know, if they're in Greater Rift 35. And let's say they wanted to do bounties, because all the bounties are being changed. And the way that works, well, then if you wanted to go do bounties on T6, it's kind of a breeze. It's almost too easy. In fact, it is too easy. And in most cases, you're going to be sitting there wanting to do another Greater Rift, because the challenge just isn't there, despite the fact that it's nice to just blast through everything. Well, that's why all of these new Torment levels are being added. It's for the people who get beyond, you know, Greater Rift 25, you can then do that same kind of difficulty stuff, or slightly under. You know, say you get to Greater Rift 49 like I am, and then you wanted to go do like T9, right? You didn't want to do Greater Rift 45 level of difficulty. You wanted to do, you know, like Torment 9 in that area, and that may be like a good speed for you to farm bounties and stuff in, and I think that's really, really cool that now people have that option. They're not just limited to Torment 6. And of course, with Torment 7, 8, 9, and 10, the increase of drop rate for legendaries goes up, the increased experience gain goes up, blood shards, everything. The same thing that scaled before with Torment levels now scales between 7 and 10 as well. So once you get to that point where you are able to farm T6 really easily, what will end up happening is you will slowly gear quicker and quicker than we used to, because of the fact that you can now do higher Torment levels, which have the higher drop rates of legendaries. If you played Torment 1 and then you played Torment 6, you would know that there is a significant difference in the amount of legendaries that drop. Well, the same thing is going to happen here between Torment 6 and Torment 10. We're going to see a pretty big difference in the amount of legendaries that drop. And I like that. Again, the people who have been farming, the people who have been pushing Greater Rifts, now that with all of the class changes, the new sets, the changes to how Greater Rifts work, the changes to the amount of HP that Greater Rift Guardians have, and the amount of damage that rare groups do, it's just everything all together is going to add up to people doing higher Greater Rifts, which means having a higher Torment difficulty just makes sense. I think the average Greater Rift that people will start ending on, instead of being like 35 to 40, 45, is going to be about 45 to 50. I think they're going to get that high because suddenly the Torment levels will push them into getting into that. Anyways, I just wanted to show you what a little bit of the Torment 10 stuff looked like. I am farming really slow, like I said. This is the new zone, so there are some new enemy types that you'll see here and there. But for the most part, I think Torment 10 is totally doable with, you know, people who have been farming out good sets. If you're starting a new seasonal character and you get to level 70, don't expect to be doing this at Torment 10 while you're leveling up, or when you hit 70 and you're just gearing out. Like, that's not going to happen. In fact, I think getting carried through Torment 10 is going to be really, really painful for the person who's being carried, because they're going to die a lot. Say you leveled up a character, right, fresh level 70, but people have been playing for a few weeks already into, you know, Season 4, and you decide you want to join a public game on Torment 10. That's not going to happen. One, there's not going to be a lot of Torment 10 games happening at that point. Two, you're going to die a lot, and it is going to suck. You're not going to get as much XP as if you did like Torment 7 or Torment 8. It's going to be rough. So just a little word of warning. We're going to be, you know, doing a couple other Diablo videos, especially on the cube and how the Greater Rifts and stuff work, and the seasonal rewards for this season. Maybe some of the changes as well to some of the classes and sets, like the Witch Doctor, which got a pretty nice change here and there. But with that being said, we shall see you guys next time.